Good morning, everyone. It's 7:15, almost 7:11. Oh, yeah, just 7:11 a.m. on this 12 of 12/19. So yesterday I wrote to, well, not yesterday, but Monday, I wrote to my boss and the other one to request a vacation times because I need it. I need some vacation time. And yesterday night I got my mail. Request denied. Yep, request denied. No vacation for me. Well, we'll see about that though, because I'm going to talk with him, and I said I need at least 6 days. If you don't want, I'm going to talk with the other one, and you're not going to be in charge. I don't have the energy to work on that stupid line. I need some vacation times. I work practically more hours than everybody else. Sometimes my week clocks in at 50 hours, so I do deserve some break. So I didn't do much yesterday in regard of anything else. Yesterday was a good run. I did a good day, but I'm still tired when I finish my day because it's a lot of physical work. I don't especially work in the office. I work going to office. That means during the course of my day, probably probably half of it's going to be driving. Another 1/5 is going to be walking, and the other 1/5 is going to be fixing chairs. And this is like the physical parts, where I have to lift the chair, the heavy chair, turn it around, and then bash it with a hammer to remove the cylinder, because the cylinder that makes the chair go up and down is only put in by pressure, and it's taken out by pressure. There is no specific way to do this. You really have to hold it in the proper manner and really bash the living crap out of it to take it out. There's a tool that helps you take it out, but I mean, it still involves hitting the damn thing with a hammer. It's a lot of work, and people don't understand that after a week of doing this, because 50% of my time I have to replace cylinders. Sometimes it's on a lot of chair. How exhausting that is. But some people will say like, well, you sit. After that, you go and sit in your truck and drive to another place. Yep, I sit in my truck, I drive to another place where I have to do that again. And then when I'm finished with my day, I have to come back and drive. Either sit in traffic or drive for like 45 minutes an hour to get back to work. Bring back the truck to work, somebody gets cut. And that's exhausting as well. Driving is driving. It's tiring. It's driving for long hours really saps the life out of you. People think that sitting behind the wheel of a truck, either a delivery truck or a big rig, that's easy. No, it's not. It takes a huge amount of concentration, and it's a long hour driving. Anyway, so for the moment I got parts coming their way. I got the steel rod I needed, so that's 2+. And yesterday I turned on the God's device for half the night. The morning I woke up and I won again small amount of my lottery. Coincidental, or the God's device actually working? That's a good question, because the day before I didn't use it and I did not win. And you see what happened the day before. I did not win and my vacation request was turned down. So let's see, with luck on my side today, how it's gonna go. still need to draw a diagram or a schema, electric schema for my machine to conglomerate everything that's engulfed the machine. The machine being a machine, you know. And I'm probably going to I'm probably going to request help again. The equation that gives me a headache time after time is the time control. Because once you get everything rolling, like I said a million times before, how do you control it? How do you tell the machine going forward or backward? Having a control system that raises a frequency and a positive bandwidth and then turns it down to negative bandwidth, I don't know if it's that feasible. I don't know how that works. I still have a lot to learn about radio frequency, audio tone frequency, because lately I've been using audio tone generators on my computer, and what audio tone does, it's like a vibrational tone that you listen to, and what it does, it permits your spirit and your chakra energy to recalibrate themselves. You're getting reopened to a spiritual world that you were denied the access to. Basically, what the people that control the world today did, they removed the spiritual equation from our lives. They made church look bad, and they make it look negative, so that people are turned down from church and they don't want to have anything to do with church. When basically we do need some form of church for spiritual guidance and energy, but not one that controls our lives, not one that negates everything. It would be more of a church that embraces spirituality and help you control that energy that's within you. Like Russell Brand says, we're being made out of lights. If we could see the light that's inside us, we would radiate lights like the sun, you know. We're more than what we look like. But people, they limit themselves to their 5 senses. They lock themselves to what they are: sight, smell, ear, touch. That's all that they have. They don't know that there's other things. For me, I'm trying to detach myself from the materialistic needs. It's pretty hard, because I'm a guy that loves cars. I'm a passionate guy about cars. I love to build anything related to cars, and one of my biggest love is cars. Being a millionaire, I would do project after project. I would build new idea, off-road project, and all these kinds of things. The time travel project it's something I set myself upon making a long time ago. I started studying this probably 3 years after I got married, after 2001, after one of my uncles passed away, and I promised myself that I would go see him again. I would not save him from cancer, but I would try to go back and explain to him that once in a while I would come and pick him up and have him visit the future. Have him visit that his son grew up to be a decent guy and a very nice guy with 2 beautiful children. On the topic of time travel, again, last time I was talking about disease and plagues or any illness you could bring to the future or to the past, or they could bring to you. And today is consequence. If you ever achieve that goal, and we time travel, like I say a million times before, you cannot change the past. Your machine is time locked to this dimension. No matter what machine will build, they will all be time locked to this timeline, this dimension. And if you go in the past and you want to change an event that affected your past, basically all you're going to do is going to get yourself stuck there, because the machine won't work anymore. The machine need you just to visit over there. And what happened when you time travel is that you will become an intrusion in this timeline, and the paradox will want to correct that. They will not let you interfere for very long. If you travel to the past, try to make it in a time and weather where a bee cannot affect you, or a bug or a fly or whatever. Make it in a time like autumn and falls, or spring, whatever. Make it at a time that there's no bugs that you can crush and it can affect the reality. And make sure you don't kill anything, and make sure you don't talk to anyone. The moment you would interfere with someone and then you would take their time, the timeline would already start to diverge. The timeline would already start to change from your intrusion. There would be so many repercussions from you talking to someone, taking their times, and even if just the person is driving you somewhere, that 1 minute the person stopped to pick you up in their car and bring you somewhere else is a minute in their life that probably he had a rendezvous with his girlfriend, or it's going to interfere. It's going to lag back everything a minute in the past for him until that time that he won't get the rendezvous with that girlfriend, and he won't make that child, and the entire family will be erased from time. Yeah, that's the thing with silicone wiper. They harden with cold. They don't do such an awesome job in the cold. When it's wet, they do a good job. Anyways, just to explain to you why they call me Dr. Z, is that the reality of what time travel is and what reality is, it's something that I mastered. Sometime when I really want to fucked up with someone, I'm gonna start to explain to them conspiracy theory, and then I'm gonna fuck up their world just by explaining them what I lived and what reality is. And most of the time, these people, they live in blissful ignorance of what reality really is. And then when you change their world, they're gonna drink or get drugged up to forget about it, or it's gonna mess them up for the rest of their life. I had a few people I did that to, and it really fucked up their reality. They live with the knowledge of what I tell them in the back of their mind, and they didn't live peacefully ever after. That is one factor, that when you know too much, your knowledge can become viral. Your knowledge can become something dangerous for people. People fragile mind, that they don't necessarily always accept reality as it is, or their fragile notion of what reality is. Especially when you're going to crush their world about Facebook, that it's an illusion. you're you're not making an impact. You're nobody. You live your life in your little basement or your little apartment. You don't do anything, and you don't influence anyone. You're not making an impact of anything at all. So when you start explaining to them that, it's like, what's my reason for being? Well, why am I here? And then you have to tell them that you're here. You're gonna influence someone in your life, and at that moment you'll know why you were here. For me, I influenced so many people positively in their life. I changed their life for the best. I helped them grow. I helped them become something else, and they grew up. Some of them integrated better themselves in society. Some other became leaders. It's all little things like that that shows that you play an important role in the grand scheme of things. But again, when you're time traveling, in the past, try not to interfere with anyone. If you're gonna go to a store or somewhere to buy something, always be the last one in line. And the worst thing is, I don't know how things would react with food if you ate food in the past. What's gonna happen to you once that food catch up with your timeline? Because as you're in the past, you're carrying your own timeline. When you're traveling in the past, you become an outside threat to the timeline. You're carrying a wavelength of the future timeline, and what I call the temporal signature, and you're carrying that with you. And that's like all the disease you ever caught in your life. You're carrying that with you, and you're going into the past, and you're bringing all of this back to the past. That's why you have to be very careful. Anyways, that's it for today. Small educational capsule among my rant. I'm gonna wish you guys a good day. I hope mine's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be mighty slippery on the road, and I have a whole lot of driving to do. So take care, everyone.